Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder as I head out for a walk and deliver an episode to you while I stroll around. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good afternoon, listeners. It is a lovely day here in suburban Chicago. Oof, it is a warm one. I'm taking a walk because I really should take more walks. But I'm also taking a walk because I wanted to get back on the old podcast train. It's been a couple weeks. I looked, the last time I published an episode was June 7th. So all of you people who are contributing to the Patreon, just kidding, I don't have one. And this is why, so that I can go a couple weeks without publishing something and not feel too horrible about it. Last time I published, last episode I made, I was just about to leave town for Origins Game Fair. And so I thought this episode, it would be an Origins debrief. Talk a little bit about what happened at the game fair and some highlights and so on. So let's jump into it. If you've never been, Origins Game Fair is a large con in Columbus, Ohio that happened this year on June 8th or 9th through the 12th or something like that. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I went as part of my participation with XYZ Game Labs. So first I'll talk about heading down. The first two of us who went down, we unloaded the van, got it all sort of into the booth space, and then we went to get supplies from Walmart, and the others came afterward and set up the booth. Our goals at the con were twofold. One, we were continuing to promote and show off Arch Ravels, our Fibercraft themed game that is the top seller for XYZ Game Labs and for which we have an expansion coming to Kickstarter in the fall. And then we also, this is one of the first cons where we were doing active demos of Bigfoot Roll and Smash. Bigfoot Roll and Smash, of course, is the new game that we have on pre-order right now. I've talked about it a number of times. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at it, head over to bigfootrollsmash.com and check it out. It's on pre-order right now. We'd love to have your participation in the pre-order campaign. It is a family-friendly dice rolling programming game. So you're going to roll dice and then use those dice to buy planning, to get planning points, special cards, and hazards. The planning points and special cards are good. Planning points let you buy these planning tiles that allow you to navigate your truck through the arena. And the cards are all good as well. These come from your truck specific deck. And then the hazards, of course, are bad. These are ways that your opponents can mess up the arena for you. The highlight of the game, or perhaps the thing that catches your eye the most, are the Bigfoot tire dice, or monster tire dice. These are large 8-sided cylinders that are in the shape of monster truck tires, and those are what you roll as part of in the rolling part. So it works pretty great. It's a lot of fun. So we were showing that off, trying to get people to pre-order that. We were demonstrating the knitting game, and we were rolling into the fall season. So what I thought I'd talk about, so that's how we set up, and then we were all staying at an Airbnb that we rented that had rooms all over the place. There were 3 rooms in the very upstairs that we called the Hobbit section because the ceilings were all slanted, so the rooms were all kind of tiny, it was really suited for people of smaller stature. I did not use the shower up there, but I'm told the shower was kind of hilarious to use. It's really small. So generally the way that the con went, we had 4 days at the con, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All 4 days we kind of ran the same way. Each different person in the group had a different job. My job was to show off Bigfoot Roll and Smash, that was the same job that my design partner Rob had. The way that we did that is we had at one of our demo areas, we had Bigfoot Roll and Smash set up with chairs, and we could, if you came by, we'd show you the game. I often asked people if they wanted to try rolling the Bigfoot dice. It was a good way to get people to stop at the table and take a look at it. And it worked out pretty nicely. Often people would try it out. Sometimes they would do a whole demo. Sometimes they would just roll the dice and move on. Often I could at least give them the 2 or 3 minute pitch. It's interesting when you're doing that sort of thing over and over again for, like, say, a whole weekend. You get this sort of rolling experience where you come to understand or recognize in people the signs of, do they want to stay? Do they want to go? And often I could tell, do they want the 1 minute pitch, the 5 minute pitch? Do they want to do a whole demo? And I could tailor what I'm saying to kind of fit how interested they were. it worked out pretty nicely, actually. It was a lot of fun. While I was doing that, I did get to meet a number of people I've seen on the internet usually through because they're content creators. So there are a couple of different TikTok creators that I saw that I had met before, or I knew from online. Grant Lyons and Ez Cadelia and Amanda Panda, One Board Family. These are all people who came by the booth and checked things out. I got to meet Chris from Cardboard Edison. We had dinner with Charity Board Gamer. His name was also Chris. That's a different Chris than the Cardboard Edison Chris. And our CEO Adam did a promotion for the game on Origins TV with Steve Bonacore. So we've had lots of opportunities to show what Bigfoot Smash is doing and how it works. Bigfoot Roll Smash. So like I said, I did that in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, I had time to myself. So what I did for those days was wander the exhibit hall and try out games. I didn't do any prearranged gameplays or anything like that, or attend any meetups. And in the evenings, we hung out. Sometimes we went and did social things with other people at the cons. A couple times we went back and just had social time with the group back at our Airbnb. But either way, it became an opportunity to rest and relax and get ready for the next round of the next day of the con. But during that afternoon time, I had it on my own. So what I did is I first, on Thursday and Friday, I walked the entire exhibit hall from one end to the other, very slowly, checking out every booth, seeing if there was anything I want. And I got a significant way down the exhibit hall before I made any purchases. My goal was to get a good idea of what everything that was there before I bought anything. Then the last 2 days I was more demoing games and checking out a variety of different things happening in the exhibit hall with less focus on seeing everything and more focus on sort of coming back and checking out targeted elements. I also, in those last 2 days, I had drifted toward the place where you could do game demos, and so I got to try a few games as well. When I did end up making purchases, here's the stuff I bought. I bought Mortem Medieval Detective. This is a new game from Arcane Wonders. It's a choose-your-own-adventure style detective game, similar to Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, but more of a branching narrative. In Sherlock Holmes, if you go to place A and then you want to go to place B, both are available to you. In Mortem, it's more likely that going to place A will make place B not available, that sort of thing. I'll talk about gameplay in another episode, but it looked neat, and I bought that game to play with my wife. I also got Riverside, the new game from Christian Osby, I think is his name. No, it's Amundsen, the other person who designed with Christian Osby, who designed Trails of Tucana. And it is a sort of combo-tastic roll and write, sort of in the neighborhood of something like Gone Clever. One of the things I like about this one is that it uses a board to coordinate what options are available to you, and that board gets rearranged every game. And so with multiple plays, you probably get multiple stuff out of it. I was excited for that. That one they actually didn't have at the con, but the person who was selling it had it available for order from their website and free shipping during the con. So I was able to order it from the website, and it was mailed to my house. It came about 4 days after the con. Right across from our booth was the Grand Gamers Guild booth, and they had the 18-card escape room games available for sale. And so I picked up a few of those as presents for my daughter. I got a stuffed animal that looked like a plague doctor, like a cartoonish plague doctor for my son, because he wouldn't really want a game, but a stuffed animal is still a winning present for him. For the family, or just generally because I thought it was interesting, I got Dice Miner. I will talk about that in a later play as well. And then I got one Grail game, Roll for the Galaxy Rivalry. This is a expansion for Roll for the Galaxy, which is a game I really enjoy, although I haven't played it a lot lately. And the expansion Rivalry has been on my wish list for a long time, but I've never pulled the trigger because it was $80, and that's a lot of money for an expansion. Now it is 3 expansions in one. When you read what's on the back or you read what's in the game, it's 3 expansions in one. So $80 is not an outrageous price for what you get in the game, but it still was $80, and I wasn't buying it until I found a copy at this place called CNC Games, which they go to all the big cons, and it was $38. And I'm like, wow, for $38, yeah, I'll buy that. Interestingly enough, he is also going to be at Gen Con. Oh, when I showed that, I found the price, $38, and I said, that can't be right, can it? And I actually asked him, I said, is that priced correctly? And he said, yeah, and it's a steal. I was like, you're right, it is, I'm buying it. So that was sort of amusing. So those were my purchases. Not a ton of stuff, but I was originally thinking I might just try to buy one game. And that, obviously, I bought more than that. Finally, I did get a chance to play. This is sort of amusing. The guys in XYZ Game Labs, they're big players of Magic the Gathering, and so they each have a bunch of decks, and one of them had brought a deck with him, some decks with him, and I asked if I could use one and join the Magic games, and he said I could. So I played Commander with them. We played 3 games over the course of the weekend, and I won the 3rd game, which was pretty fun. I managed to get one of the combos built into his zombie deck working, and I got a thing where basically I was just spawning tons of zombies, and every time somebody hurt a zombie, I got health from it. So at one point, they were all down to like 20 some health, and I had 90, and so then I just did a couple big sort of apocalyptic moves that killed them. It was fun, and not super common for me to win a game like that, so that was cool. Finally, I did have a couple near misses, things I would have liked to get, but I was either too slow off the starting gun or whatever. That CNC Games, the same place where I got the excellent deal on Roll for the Galaxy Rivalry. He also had copies of Messina 1347 at the con, apparently, but by the time I got there, they were all out. So, lesson learned there. I should have gone to his booth right away. If my game store has not gotten that game in by Gen Con, I will go straight to his booth on the first day at Gen Con and get it then. He also, there was a game called Magical Kittens, which was almost the game I got my son instead of this stuffed animal. But while I was demoing another game, they sold out. So I should have bought it when I was thinking about it instead of waiting. And that's the near miss there. And then finally, I'm hearing a number of really good, interesting reviews of Space Station Phoenix. This is a game I had not heard of. It just sort of showed up at Origins, and I kind of wish that I had bought it because it sounds really neat. The downside, of course, is any space-themed game is always harder to get played because Jenny does not like space-themed games. So buying a space-themed game is often, even if it's really good, it's often a recipe for not getting a game played for a while. So it's probably not a bad thing that I missed getting that one. Nonetheless, it was a near miss. All in all, Origins Game Fair was a delightful weekend spent. We got to stay at the Airbnb. I got to hang out with my friends. On the way home, I rode with CEO of XYZ Game Labs, Noah, again, and we had a nice journey both directions. Of course, I got home and everything was fine. And then Wednesday morning, I woke up not feeling well, and turned out I got COVID. So that was a bummer end to what was otherwise a nice trip. So I spent the next week in quarantine, which is why it's only now that I'm recording again, because I was stuck in isolation in my basement. So what game conventions have you been to? Did you go to Origins 2022? I did not see you there, but maybe you did. Actually, I did run into a couple people. Patrick Hillier, who I don't know that he listens to the podcast, but he and I trade tweets occasionally. That was fun to run into him, as well as a few other people. So if you got a chance to come by and say hi, hello, good to see you again. Otherwise, let me know what cons you're going to. We will be at Gen Con as well, so if you want to come by there, you can do that as well. Thanks for joining me on my walk today. I hope that your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.